there are women who are forbidden for men to marry. And this is easy to understand because when you read the Quran, read the Sunnah, and use your common sense and logic, you will find that this is totally acceptable. First of all, those who are prohibited to get married to, either the prohibition is for good and this is something permanent, or the prohibition is for something that might be removed and one can marry them later on. So who are those prohibited to marry for good? There are three categories. One, blood-related women. Two, reasons related to suckling, breastfeeding. Three, reasons related to marriage. So those who are permanently prohibited to marry due to blood reasons are the mothers. So your mother, your grandmother, whether paternal or maternal, no matter how high they go up, is prohibited. Daughters, of course, this is in all religions. You can't marry your daughter or your granddaughter. Sisters, whether paternal, maternal, or fully your sister. Daughters of your brothers or your sisters. So your nieces, you cannot marry those at all. Aunts, whether paternal or maternal, you cannot marry your aunt, no matter what. Of course, one would, in the West, say, yeah, aunts, paternal, maternal are prohibited, and their daughters, meaning cousins. No. Cousins are totally permissible to marry to. And the evidence in the Quran is clear. Prohibited to you for marriage are your mothers, your daughters, your sisters, your father's sisters, your mother's sisters, these are the aunts, your brother's daughters, and your sister's daughters, and this is for the nieces. And anything else is permissible because Allah says, and legal to you are all others beyond this. And this is mentioned in Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, women. So this is why it was called women, because it lists a number of things related to women. First category, blood relations. Second category of prohibition of women to marry, relations through breastfeeding. And anyone related to you through breastfeeding is exactly like the blood relations. So when Allah says in the Quran, حُرِّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمْ, prohibited to you for marriage, and Allah lists all of this, all of that, and then Allah says at the list, your milk mothers who nursed you, your sisters through nursing. So this indicates that the moment the mother nurses an individual, he becomes her son, of course, if the conditions are fulfilled, and all those related to her become his blood-like prohibited relations. So this woman now becomes his mother, which means her husband becomes his father, which means her parents become his grandparents. Her siblings become his uncles and aunts. Her children become his siblings, and so forth, And this is why the Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, what becomes mahram, that is forbidden for marriage, through breastfeeding is that which becomes mahram through blood ties. It's the same thing. And the conditions that must be fulfilled in order for this relationship to become prohibited are two. Number one, the suckling has to be before the child reaches 2 years of age. If the suckling took place a day after the child reached 2 years of age, the suckling does not have an effect. The second condition is that the suckling should be 5 complete breastfeedings. And the scholars call this meals. So when the child starts to suckle and to feed out of hunger, he may take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The moment the child leaves the breast and stops suckling by itself, because it's full, this is a complete meal and this is sufficient. Thirdly, the prohibition of women to get married to through marriage, and that is through becoming in-laws. And there are 4 women. The first one is the mother-in-law. So the wife's mother or her grandmother, and no matter how high it goes, they are prohibited to marry. Allah says in the Quran, your wives' mothers, when He listed prohibited for you to marry. So this is number one. Your mother-in-law, the moment you become married, then this woman, the mother-in-law, becomes haram for you just by the marriage contract. Even if the marriage was not consummated, it's done. You can't marry that woman. She becomes like your mother. She's mahram to you. You can be alone with her. You can travel with her without any problem. The second is the daughters-in-law. If you married a woman and she has a daughter, so this stepdaughter of yours, or the stepdaughter is not the daughter-in-law, the stepdaughter of yours, the daughter of your wife whom you got married to, becomes mahram to you, but not by the marriage contract like the mother-in-law. No. Your stepdaughter, you have to consummate the marriage with the mother in order for her daughter to become mahram. But if you just married a woman and it's on contract, you've never been alone with her, and then you divorced her, there's no problem in marrying her daughter. This is very hypothetical, but it can happen in some societies, in some cases, and Allah is the most wise for allowing this to happen. Allah says in the Quran, and your stepdaughters under your guardianship, born of your wives unto whom you have gone in, meaning consummated the marriage. But if you have not gone in unto them, there is no sin upon you. There's no problem in marrying them. And the third one is the stepdaughter, or the step that is daughter, who is, would it be called stepdaughter? Let me check this a little bit. The wives of his son, the daughter-in-law, that is, not the stepdaughter. I apologize. So the daughter-in-law, the wife of my son, this is a mahram forever. The moment my son marries a woman, she becomes my daughter-in-law. And I can never marry her, even if my son dies, if my son divorces her, because Allah Azza wa Jal also says, also prohibited to you are the wives of your sons who are from your own loins.